Three-time Grammy Award winner Ricky Kedge has created a unique Guinness World Record for the single largest singing lesson in line with India's Independence Day by singing the national anthem that featured 1,400 Indian children. Take a look at these visuals while I see you again next week. For the WION team, I'm Dasaniya Tauda signing off.
Everybody wants to learn music today.
Hello everyone, I'm Ricky Kedge and here's wishing all the viewers of WION a very happy Independence Day. Last year I'd made a version of the National Anthem, as you know, which was where I conducted a 100-piece British Symphony Orchestra, and it was an amazing experience. I was absolutely thrilled with it, and it was a very successful version of the National Anthem. In fact, our Prime Minister of India had also tweeted it. And after that, you know, when I lived with that version of the National Anthem after a couple of months, I started to feel that we need to get the soul of India into it a little bit. We need to get a few Indian musicians, and if you're getting any Indian musicians and Indian instruments, then we have to get the absolute best. We cannot compromise on that at all. It has to be the best that India has to offer. That is when I started contacting everybody. I started contacting Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia, Rakesh Chaurasia, Rahul Sharma, Aman and Ayan, you know, and Sheikh Mehboob, and Giridhar Udupa, Jayanti Kumaresh. I contacted all of them and I requested them to be a part of this, and to my astonishment and to my utter luck, all of them agreed. And I brought them into the studio, recorded them. And it was an absolutely amazing experience to actually work with all of these musicians. And then the icing on the cake was the 14,000 children. There's an institute in India called the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences. And I visited this institute a couple of times, and I decided that I wanted to take a music lesson with these kids. I wanted to teach these kids music. So we did a music lesson for 14,000 kids that ended up winning a Guinness World Record for the largest music lesson ever in the history of the world.
Now is the moment of truth.
I'm the official adjudicator for Guinness World Records, headquartered in London, the largest singing lesson. And what we achieved here today is a phenomenal 13,944 participants in this largest singing lesson.
So the challenges were never with the kids itself. The kids were very disciplined. The kids were amazing, very energetic, extremely enthusiastic, and very fast learners. So what we did is that we built a stage which was in the shape of a cross, and I would walk around that stage so that I would be as close to as many kids as possible, and all those 4 quadrants were pointed at me, of the children, so that way that way as many children were facing me as possible. And also the other challenge was, how do we record the children? So we had over 200 microphones. And these 200 state-of-the-art microphones, we converted the entire stadium into pretty much into a recording studio. The National Anthem is pretty much ingrained in me, simply because it's the first piece of music that I ever learned how to play on the keyboard. But my father had a small keyboard at home while I was growing up, while I was about 2 years old. And I remember just dabbling on the keyboard and playing a couple of notes, and suddenly, while I'm repeating a few notes, I suddenly realized that this sounds quite similar to the National Anthem. And it took me a few days to, to teach myself how to play the National Anthem, and that was the first piece of music that I ever learned. So the National Anthem, I would say, is not just ingrained in me, but it's ingrained in every Indian. The first few notes of the National Anthem that you listen to, you immediately evoke a sense of pride of our country, you evoke a sense of responsibility and duty towards our country. And that is the beauty of this piece of music. And that's why this piece of music has lived on for so long, and it is dear to everybody, and it is controversy-free. So it's just a beautiful piece of music created by Sri Rabindranath Tagore.